Hello, I'm Gill Fielding, and this is what's caught my eye in the media this week. And I have to be honest to say, not much. I'm fed up of the negative news about wars, disease, famines, droughts. And so I've been looking a bit deeper into the media this week and found some interesting stories about people and how they control money and what they do with money. And the first story came from the post office because they've announced that in the month of July, £801 million was taken out of the post office in cash. And this is an indicator that people are starting to use cash again. That figure is higher than any other figure that the post office has ever recorded in terms of cash withdrawals. And it's 20% higher than the month before. So people are taking out cash, and it's an absolute sensible thing to do when money is tight. And I've said this many times, the trouble with contactless type of payments is that you lose all your money in a click or a swish and it's gone and there's no control or awareness of it. And the best way to really get to grips with your money is to deal in cash, because you can see it, you can eke it out, you can put it in piles, you can put it in purses, you can see when it's all gone. It's so much easier to control. And of course, in times of financial hardship and restrictions and household spending that we're all going to have to cut because of rising costs, galloping inflation, going back to cash is the obvious thing to do for me as a wealth creator. And it's lovely to see that when things get tight, people do actually know how to look after their money. And it's such a pity that they don't do that kind of thing when they've got enough, because then they could save more money and reinvest it for the future and so on. But I can't be churlish about it. It's wonderful to see that people are reverting to using cash, because that is the best way to control your money when things are tight. And the second piece I read was from the banking industry, because they've announced that on average, people have cut their standing orders and direct debits by £10 per month compared to last year. So the average subscriptions, memberships, DDs and stuff that we're paying out used to be £51.65. That's now dropped to £41.70 and is dropping every month. And again, that's a wonderful indicator that people are finally getting to grips with their money. Again, I say it many, many times, go through all your subscriptions and direct debits and memberships and see what you can cut out. I was talking to a distant relative last week, and he said he went through his and found that he was actually paying Amazon Prime twice. So he got two and just never thought to check and to cancel one, but he has now. And again, it's lovely to see that people are doing the right thing just because money is getting tighter and there's the pressures on income, pressures on expenditure, and people are doing the right thing. And as I said, it's lovely to see that people do understand how to look after their money. They just don't bother if they've got enough, because there's not enough motivation there. So well done, everybody. And if you've cut your DDs down this month, well done you. And the last story, I was reading about an exhibition that's on at Leeds Museum at the moment, and it's all about money and artifacts of money and that kind of stuff. And they've got on display a jar that is a Roman jar from about 300 AD, and it's a jar of 3,000 Roman copper coins, and it had been deliberately buried in a garden in Yorkshire, presumably as some kind of security and safety measure. And of course, it's been dug up years later and it's now on exhibition in Leeds. And it got me to thinking about that Roman who buried that money, and it's basically a piggy bank. It's got a loose fitting jar, but it's a jar, and it's got 3,000 coins in it. And I was thinking about that Roman and thinking about how that compared to where we are today. And of course, it's exactly the same. We teach children how to look after their money by giving them coins, and which they put in a piggy bank or a jar. We've also got the issues of security and trust. About £4 million is stolen a day through fraud in the UK, and we've had nearly 5,000 bank branches close or about to close in the UK. And so the places where we can put our money for safety are diminishing. So we're not in that different a position from the Roman all those years ago. And it's nice to see that their thoughts about money, he or she, whoever they were, are exactly the same as ours. We want to grow our money. We want to put it to one side. We want to save it for the future or invest it for the future if we can. And there's limited options around as to where we can keep it safely and securely. I wouldn't suggest you bury your money in the garden, in a jar or no jar, because we do have other measures available to us today. But lovely to see that the conundrum of 2,000 years ago is exactly the same as the conundrum today. Look after your money. Hope you have a good week. Keep safe.